Tupac not
ain't as smart as you should be.
Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a key.
When I left that hospital, me and Pop was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac.
Tupac Shakur really lost his life in 1996? Then why do so many people, his friends, fellow rappers, and even Suge Knight, insist he's still alive? The official story says Tupac was shot on the Las Vegas Strip, but decades later, the case remains unsolved. The evidence doesn't quite fit together, and rumors of him surviving keep spreading online. New sightings appear so often that the story has grown into something larger than music itself. A kind of modern legend. But what if this legend isn't just made up by fans? What if the flaws in the official version point to something darker or stranger than people are willing to believe? To understand why this mystery still won't fade, we need to go back to the night of the Tyson fight in Vegas. The night Tupac was said to have taken his last breath. But the closer you look at what really happened, the more confusing and suspicious it all becomes. Even after almost 30 years, it's hard to tell where the truth ends and where the hidden story begins. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac went to Las Vegas with Suge Knight, the boss of Death Row Records, to watch Mike Tyson fight Bruce Seldon at the MGM Grand. After the match, Tupac and his team ran into Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a member of the Southside Crips, in the hotel lobby. A fight broke out instantly, and Tupac threw the first punch. Security stepped in, but it was far from a minor fight. It would lead directly to what followed that night. Later, while Suge was driving his black BMW toward a club, a white Cadillac pulled up beside them. Gunshots rang out. Tupac was hit in the chest and thigh, and Suge was grazed by a bullet. Despite his injuries, Suge managed to keep driving until police stopped the car a few blocks away. Tupac, covered in blood, was rushed to the hospital. Doctors put him in a medically induced coma after he kept trying to get out of bed. Fans gathered outside praying for his recovery. 6 days later, on September 13th, the world got the heartbreaking news. Tupac was dead. The official cause was listed as respiratory failure and cardiac arrest caused by his gunshot wounds. But from the start, something felt unfinished. No one was arrested, no charges were made, and the questions kept growing. The biggest issue was the investigation, or rather, the lack of one. Even though Tupac was one of the most famous rappers alive, Las Vegas police never caught a suspect. Suge Knight later said that just hours before Tupac passed, the two of them were laughing and joking together in the hospital.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
How does someone go from being stable to gone within just a few hours? What's even stranger is that no one outside Tupac's close circle ever saw his body. There was no public funeral, no casket on display, and his reported cremation happened so fast that even his relatives were left confused. The man who supposedly carried out the cremation was said to have been paid millions in cash and then disappeared soon after, never to be heard from again. Things got even weirder when the coroner's report listed Tupac's weight as 215 pounds, about 50 pounds more than his actual weight of 160. How could such a big mistake appear in an official document? For many people, this looked like evidence of a cover-up. Suge Knight, who was powerful and well-connected in the industry, kept saying that Tupac was perfectly fine when he last saw him, which only added more fuel to the mystery. To this day, the odd details make it hard for fans to fully trust the official version of events. Theories about what really happened to Tupac can't be separated from the violent East Coast versus West Coast feud that defined that era. 2 years before his death, Tupac was ambushed at Quad Studios in New York City. He was shot 5 times and left bleeding on the floor. Many thought his former friend turned rival, the notorious B.I.G., had been linked to the attack. Tupac later accused Biggie and Bad Boy Records of betrayal, pushing the feud into full-blown chaos. By 1996, Tupac was firing back with intense diss tracks like Hit 'Em Up, turning personal grudges into public warfare. With so much tension surrounding him, some people believe Tupac knew his life was in danger and could have planned his own disappearance. After all, Biggie was murdered in Los Angeles just 6 months later in another drive-by that also remains unsolved. 2 major rap legends gone within a year, and no justice for either one. This made fans wonder whether both deaths were connected, maybe part of a bigger plan to silence them or a clever escape by Tupac to get out before he became the next victim. Not long after his supposed death, rumors started spreading everywhere. Rappers and insiders began dropping hints. One of them, Trey, was caught on a hot mic saying, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
If you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Huh? Nobody know. Good? We go. Thanks a lot, man.
Last time I saw music.
Suge Knight kept saying over and over that no one ever actually saw Tupac dead.
Tupac not
Ain't as smart as you
dead.
should be.
Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban.
In several interviews, Suga hinted that something about the hospital didn't feel right. He claimed the entire situation seemed off, from how the staff acted to how quickly things moved after the shooting. Around the same time, fans across the country began claiming they saw people who looked just like Tupac in parking lots, clubs, and random public places. Some of those stories were easy to dismiss, but a few were surprisingly convincing. The strongest rumor centered around Tupac's stage name, Machiavelli. Before his death, he had been reading the works of Niccolò Machiavelli, an Italian philosopher who once wrote that faking your own death could be a smart way to defeat your enemies. Just 2 months after Tupac's reported passing, a new album dropped under the name Machiavelli, almost as if he had already stepped into a new identity. The timing felt too perfect, and fans began connecting the dots. Maybe Tupac never died at all. Maybe he simply disappeared. The Knight family has stayed deeply linked to the mystery over the years. Suge Knight has always maintained that Tupac wasn't gone. He often told reporters, Tupac's not dead. If he was, someone would have been arrested by now. Even years later, in 2014, Suge doubled down during an interview with TMZ, bluntly saying was still alive.
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never.
That claim sent the internet into a frenzy. Then, in 2018, Suge's son, Suge Knight Jr., took it to another level. On Instagram, he said Tupac was living in Malaysia and even posted what he claimed were recent photos of Tupac with celebrities like Beyonce and 50 Cent. He also shared screenshots of a text conversation where someone allegedly warned him, "You said too much. Time for you to go." People online couldn't figure out if Suge Jr. was joking for attention or revealing something dangerous. Still, one thing was clear. Both father and son, who knew Tupac personally, have kept these rumors alive through their own statements. Whether it's real insider information or just family storytelling, their words have made sure the mystery surrounding Tupac never fades away.
Confirmed, Tupac is alive and he's been living in Cuba all this time. This is a photo I snapped of him with my Nokia phone. That's the only phone the Cuban governors would let me bring into the country. He's been living in Cuba. This is a small farm that he lives on, that he does more for just a hobby, and he says connect to the earth. This is the local bar that he sits at and grabs a beer every day. I talked to the bartender and they said, we love him. We didn't know that it was Tupac. And this is his fishing boat. He says he goes fishing almost every day, and then he eats the fish. He said, you can't beat this life.
Among all the theories, the idea that Tupac escaped to Cuba stands out the most. His aunt, Asada Shakur, has been living there since she fled U.S. authorities in 1984. For many fans, that connection made Cuba the perfect place for Tupac to hide. Over the years, blurry photos and shaky videos have surfaced, claiming to show him in Havana. One clip showed a man who looked just like Tupac sitting in a parking lot, while another video appeared to show Suge Knight talking to someone who resembled Tupac, filmed from behind. Soon more pictures began circulating, some obviously edited, others harder to dismiss, showing Tupac with celebrities like Rihanna or appearing decades older but alive. Even rap music helped keep the mystery alive. Kendrick Lamar mentioned it in his song on Damn, rapping, "Fake my death, go to Cuba. That's the only option." Eminem later joked about it in one of his freestyles. Each line only added more fuel to the fire. If Tupac truly wanted to disappear, Cuba, with its isolation, safety, and family ties, seemed like the perfect escape. His posthumous album, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, released just weeks after his death under the name Machiavelli, became the centerpiece for believers. The cover showed Tupac on a cross hinting at resurrection. The producer credit was listed as Simon, the apostle who first witnessed Jesus rise again. In the Hail Mary video, Tupac is shown coming back from the dead, and his lyrics sounded like messages from beyond. "Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back," he declared. On I Ain't Hard to Find, he rapped about rumors of his death, calling them twisted lies. To those who believed, these weren't coincidences. They were clues, carefully left behind to hint at a bigger plan. Whether it was artistic symbolism, prophecy, or deliberate misdirection, it made fans believe Tupac was preparing them for his return. Still, not everyone believes the Cuba story. Some say Tupac was secretly flown out of Las Vegas that night by helicopter, rescued by insiders who knew about the attack beforehand. Filmmaker Rick Boss went even further, claiming Tupac used a body double to fake his death, leaving a lookalike behind. He even announced a film about this theory, saying Tupac later lived under protection with a Navajo tribe in New Mexico. Others think Tupac planned the entire disappearance himself, using lyrics, album art, and hidden symbols to turn his death into one of the greatest mysteries in music history. The wilder the theories get, the more they spread, fueled by every unanswered question from the official investigation. Tupac wasn't just another rapper. He was a movement, a rebel, and a symbol of strength. His words carried emotion and power. So when he died suddenly, it never felt final. His larger-than-life personality, his contradictions, and his passion made it hard for the world to let him go. Every strange report, every blurry photo, and every cryptic lyric keeps the idea alive that he might have beaten death itself. Maybe Tupac really did fake his death to escape the madness of fame. Or maybe fans just can't accept that someone so influential could be taken away so young. Either way, Tupac's legend has outlived him, continuing to grow with every passing year. And that leaves one question that still haunts fans everywhere. Truly is alive somewhere, living quietly in peace. Will he ever come back? Or has he already given us all the clues we'll ever get?